Cancel.
Squeezy.
Okay, so we are, as a country, are in a very big gap between poverty and the fucking filthy rich. And so Buzzfeed, thank you Buzzfeed for always bringing us the best content, has brought us 24 unbelievable luxuries of being super, mega, wildly rich that the rest of us can't even begin to wrap our heads around, you know? I'm not rich, and if I was, I would probably be an asshole. So, luckily, you get poor asshole me, and,
I didn't do fucking shit.
So, you know, as we say on the show...
Let's just jump into it.
All right, let's look into this. We got 24 of these. Let's look at them. I have assistants to do things we wouldn't dream of doing. I know a rich person who hired a personal assistant to find land to purchase. Here are the criteria. Forested land by the sea, cliffs, quiet area, but with cell reception, and make sure it isn't an area with lots of boat traffic so I can take my bath while looking out at sea. You hire an assistant to do this? Like, isn't this like the job of a real estate agent? Are they just hiring? I think you're just confusing an assistant with a real estate agent, my friend. Because because this all sounds like things people hire real estate agents for, and a lot of times real estate agents, that's their job, you know? I think is being rich mean you hire a real estate agent? Because isn't it the fact that like houses are sold by real estate agents, and the idea of you hire a real estate agent is the fact that they're going to help you sell your home, and then the other option is just like selling it yourself, like advertising it and selling it yourself, you know? Aren't the two options? And the whole point of hiring a real estate agent is to actually get the house sold, you know, and somewhat try to get a good deal, you know, a good price on it when you sell it, like, because the real estate agent, like, they get paid for how, you know, they get paid probably a percentage of like what the house sells for, you know, like that's, you know, that's how works. So we're not off to a good start here. If being rich means you hire a real estate agent, then I think a lot of us are more rich than and in the United States, a lot of us are more rich than we would like to believe. Let's see, next one. I do a lot of work for a ridiculously wealthy couple. One thing I saw that comes to mind is having a helicopter drop them off at the end of their driveway and having their car and driver waiting to take them from the end of the gravel driveway to the house. It's probably a 35-second walk. It took them longer to get into the car than it would for an ordinary person to walk. Yeah, that's definitely, there we go. We finally switched around. That's so fucking dumb. Like, okay, having a helicopter, okay, so they get around by a helicopter, and then they're dropped off in the driveway because probably the helicopter can't fit in the driveway, and then they get a ride from the driveway to the house. Yeah, that's like, you know how like normal people and people who have a comfortable amount of money don't have to do that? Yeah, I think these people, like, I don't know. And also, like, you need to be walking a little bit, you know? Because, like, I have an aunt, she's like in her 80s, and she has a hard time walking around. And every time I see her, I'm just like, I'm going to take the stairs, you know? Like, I'm just going to start taking stairs more often, you know? Screw elevators, I'm just going to take the stairs, you know? Because I'm like, I like having the ability to walk. I don't like walking, you know? None of us. You know, some people like going on walks, but, like, I don't think, you know, people would rather be laying on their couch, you know? Like, if you're normal people like laying on their couch, you know? So, you know, yeah, this is just way too lazy. And I feel like, you know, like, after, like, a certain age, right? Like, you can start losing muscle, and if you don't, like, maintain it, then, like, you might not get that back. I don't know. I thought I read some from a personal trainer. I don't know. She could be making it up. I don't know. She's hot, though, so that's all I really focused on. But yeah, that's ridiculous. Having separate sets of clothing in each house so they don't have to take more than carry-on luggage when traveling. that's not super ridiculous. I mean, like, you're already rich enough to have 2 houses, like, like, but also it's like weird when you buy like 2 of the same thing and like have to separate both of them into the same house, like, I don't know, like, you have a vacation home, leave some clothes with you, like, I feel like that's not too weird, it's more weird, it's worse for me, the fact that they have more than one house when there's a housing, there's a big homeless problem, and some of those homeless people deserve it, but not all of them. Some of them are just really, really, really down on their luck, and I don't know, I feel like everyone should have a home, who deserves it, and then you can have a second home. Like, it's like a pizza party, you go for like 1 or 2 slices at first, and then after that, when everyone's had one, you can have more. That's my opinion on that, but the clothing is not as weird as having 2 different houses. I've been a chef for 20 years. I've dealt with this a bit. They can buy out a restaurant for several days if they want to drop in during their vacation with no wait times. We charge $50,000 per meal service. They wanted to buy out. It makes us $300,000 over 3 days. They never showed up, but went to our sister restaurant across the river in Miami. Bottle service is unreal. We know this already, but you have no idea. Aside from paying $2,000 for a bottle of Grey Goose with mixers, they will spend several thousands on Ace of Spades or Crystal and just throw $200,000 on the black card for one night of drinking. This extends to champagne, not just for drinking, but for the act of spraying on each other and the scantily clad girls pretending to like them for a 25% guaranteed tip. I think this is okay. Like, if you have the money, and like, the thing is, though, like, the restaurant, bar, whatever you're at, like, you make $50,000, okay, so, like, assuming you're gonna make $50,000 a night, and then, you're hoping that they also tip well. Like, assuming they tip well, like, this is very good for business, and the idea of that money is going back into the community. A lot of rich people, like, just hoard their money and, don't do anything with it, and it's just, like, they like the number more than actually spending the money. I feel like if I was a rich person, I would be doing shit like, I would definitely be doing shit like that, I would also tip really well, as well. You have to. If you're gonna spend $2,000 on a bottle of Grey Goose, like, the worst quality to price vodka out there, I think this is fine. They're putting $200,000 in, you're hoping that money trickles back down, you're hoping that money gets to you. If you're like like the hot waitress there, they hire the hot waitress and they do a good job and they get, a good tip, like, that is like a nice, that's a good thing, I think the problem with rich people is that they hoard all their money and don't really try to invest it back into a community or their community, and I think this does put money into the community, like, really, it's like, I'm not saying that they have to donate to charity and shit like that to really help people, but like, like waitresses and bartenders and shit like that, like, this is a good thing for them, I'm not trying to defend rich people, by the way, like, fuck the rich, but I don't know, like, when rich people spend their money, I think it's a good thing, and especially when it's something like that, and or like, you try to help local places and shit like that, I think, for the most part, I'm okay with this, some of these are going to be hit or miss, I feel like. All right, so the next one, number 5. I've lived near Scottsdale where there are many wealthy people. They constantly remodel their vacation homes, so there's always great stuff. I brought a brand new Viking refrigerator from Craigslist. It was still wrapped. The homeowner decided they wanted a double refrigerator instead. They've owned the home for 2 years and still haven't stayed a night there. The refrigerator retails for $18,000. I got it for $1,500. See, and that's also a good thing when rich people are like, I'm going to sell this and it's going to technically be a loss, but I'm going to sell it. Like, if you get an $18,000 refrigerator for $1,500, you hit the jackpot. That is like something we all need to remember, that if rich people sell the stuff they don't want, they should sell it for a loss, like, who cares? If you have the money to buy another refrigerator like that, get rid of your old one, and also, most houses don't need more than like 2 refrigerators or freezers, and so it's like, it's good. I feel like this is, helping out the community. I feel like, getting a good refrigerator for a good price, and like, they're going to have that refrigerator for a long time, maybe even past when they move and die and shit like that. So, I'm not down. I'm okay with that. I don't know if this is well known, but most customer service lines have a special line for rich people / celebrities. Just about every customer service line I have ever worked for has a whole VIP department. I guarantee you they don't get the slightest pushback. The company will kill itself to make them happy. Also, they get better service. When I worked at DirecTV, one of those VIPs called me. They had 27 TVs. I'm talking outside TVs, TVs in every bathroom, shower TVs, etc. They had literally every channel, including PPV. DirecTV was pretty much paying them to have the service. Yeah, I saw call centers, and my first impression was like, these people are assholes, and sometimes they are. But yeah, a lot of times I worked for a customer service at like a credit card company once, and they're and I worked with a lot of corporate cards and shit like that. And yeah, those are big clients because I think, especially with like credit cards and stuff like that, they're the ones spending money. And if you don't know how credit cards or debit cards work, is that when you make a purchase, there's like a percentage of that purchase that goes back to the credit card retailer. That's how like Visa and MasterCard make their money, how they continue to do it. And it's like such a small percent that most businesses don't care. But local businesses, folks, always try to pay cash. I pay my barber in cash because I know that's, a local business and stuff like that. Smaller businesses, you should do cash. But yeah, for the most part, and that's just every job. If you have a big client, you have to treat them big nice, That's just how it is, Like that's called business and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not super uncommon, that you have higher, more VIP clients and I consider the VIP clients to be more like they help give this company a lot of money. They help this company make a lot of money, our company make a lot of money, and so not too weird. I know a rich guy who was telling me about the trouble he had with his jeweler. The guy had a personal jeweler to make him expensive watches. He also complained about how he bought a new car on a whim but forgot his 4-car garage was full of new cars. He lives in a mansion in North Miami. He also redecorates his house constantly. He has so much money, he does whatever he wants all the time, like spending $10,000 on hotel rooms. Yeah, I'm definitely okay with that, personal jeweler, like that's a guy that gets a paycheck just from making this guy watches, I feel like this is, it's good. You have to think about this as a good thing, Like I said, yeah, when rich people spend money and really, when it's really helping them, like, because spending money means someone else is getting money. And then when someone else gets money, that means they spend money. And then that, it's a back and forth thing. So it's important to spend money, especially if you have the money to spend on shit like that. Paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for golf course memberships. I photograph luxury homes in the state's most exclusive golf course neighborhood. I know of one neighbor where membership runs $400,000 and there's a wait list of people wanting to join them. How nice is this golf course though? Like if the golf course is nice, a membership costs $400,000. It's keeping the place nice, and and especially if like people live there too, and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Golf courses are really expensive, but like also, if you like golfing, you can find free courses all the time, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are pretty well maintained. As long as they mow it. They always have millions of lakes there, so like you're still gonna hit your ball on the lake, but whatever. I have a client who is so wealthy that she is functionally invisible. No online presence, ungoogleable. The name she uses isn't even her legal name, but I have no idea what her real name is because she has a family office, private wealth management, that handles her money, so checks from her come from that group. What I love is that she does nothing. Every detail of her life is done by magic. The car is always immaculate. The dogs are walked, fed, and taken to the vet once a week. A beauty staff shows up to wax and manicure her. She legitimately has no idea how her clothes are always clean and immaculately pressed. Her house is perfect. The fridge is always stocked. There are meals on the table twice a day. Bills are paid. The taxes are done. Investments are invested. The garden weeded, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, it's probably a good thing this person has no presence, minus the fact that they just live a very private life. Because as we've been looking at Garth Brooks, Taylor Swift, Mick Jagger, all the, we see the rich Lady Gaga's up there too. They have lost touch with reality, and you don't want those people running around the world, at least they're spending money, so that's good. They're not hoarding their wealth. There's a type of mega yacht that follows the main yacht, and it carries toys. All right, that's yachts are. There's a certain level of yachts you get to where it's like, bro, you need to calm down. A second yacht that carries toys, that's ridiculous. Okay, like if you can't fit your toys on one yacht, maybe you have too much money and you need to spend it better, Just, like having one yacht. I think one yacht is acceptable for billionaires, but like after two, at two, we're getting ridiculous. Buying a home from their college-age children. For their college-age children. Then they sell the house when their kids graduate. Sometimes the sale pays for college. Kind of like paying for college with the house. I don't know. That's not too bad, but like that's I think you're kind of teaching your children a lot of privilege. Like they have too much privilege and stuff like that. And don't you want to not raise like fucking monsters? Like don't most parents want their kids to be good people? For the most part, and I don't think, buying them houses is going to be helping your child. Like, if they need help with a down payment, maybe that's okay, but, I feel like when it comes to that's a little too much. That's just going to make that kid's a rich asshole. That kid's an asshole. I have several rich friends at my age who don't work. Their biggest perk is attending every concert and show and buying front row, not just in our area, but if their favorite band is playing across the country, they fly with their kids there and spend the week. Here's a trick about concerts. Up front is probably the worst sound you'll probably get at a concert because you're probably right next to the speakers. And I think I saw Reliant K and Jack's Mannequin back in the day, and I wanted to be front, very much in the front. And that was like the one time I've ever went to a concert and been like, I want to be in the front. Nowadays, what I like to do is try to get as close to the sound mixer as possible because I know that is going to be the best sound you're going to get for the concert. And that's going to be your best experience if you can get somewhere near the mixing console because the guy running it, hopefully if they're not a complete idiot, they usually try to make it sound as good as possible. And, sound travels in weird ways. So if you're too far to the left, you're not getting the best sound. If you're too far to the right, you're not always getting the best sound. But, they try to put the mixing consoles kind of like somewhere center. And so if you kind of get near there, even if it's behind the mixing console, like you're still going to get the best sound at a concert. So I would avoid front row, and especially, I don't even think bands should sell front row. If they're going to sell, I like actually what Garth and Billy Joel do, where they just like don't sell those tickets and then find people in nosebleeds and let them come down so they can actually see real fans, not rich assholes. I think that's always a cool thing when people do that. One, it's better. It's a great thing for those people in the nosebleeds. Two, you actually get to see real fans. And because I feel like it's surprising, the real fans, your real music fans, especially if you're playing stadiums and shit like that, your real fans are going to be in the nosebleeds. They're usually not going to be in the front unless you have like a kind of like open standing pit type of thing, Then it's first one there gets it, There are several single-family owned Montessori schools, like a family office put together an entire mini school just for their kids and their friends. It became a thing to do when the pandemic hit. Some are 100% mobile, like teaching on the jet / all over the world. Yeah, it is interesting because, that was the big problem with schools in the pandemic age where, I think it did not help a lot of kids' mental health, because they were not around their friends, And I have to imagine, I wasn't, during the worst of it, I was not stuck in a house with my parents. And if I was a teenager at the time, I would have gone literally insane because my dad would have not let me leave the house. And everything like that. Because, he would be looking out for my safety, but I would just be going out of my fucking mind. Because on my own, I was like, I can go get groceries if I need to. I'll just have to wear a mask and go out and if I need to and wear a mask or whatever. But that would have driven me crazy. Flying to a country on a private jet just to eat dinner. That's, Taylor Swift. You have to realize, how bad that is for the environment. Because, when an airplane's full, has a lot of people on it, it makes sense, financially and, a little bit of environmentally to do that. But when you're by yourself on a private jet, you are just killing the world and stuff like that. I talk about how global warming is real or climate change, that is real. And I don't think any of us poors are the problem. So it's you can recycle and snip up your plastic rings as much as you want, but it's not going to make a difference until the rich assholes do. Years ago, I read an article about someone whose business was keeping ultra-rich people's cars ready to go. If you have a Ferrari in multiple cities, they'd keep it fueled, get the oil changed, drive it back to the block once a week or so, and have it waiting at the airport when the owner flies into town. There's that guy who had that YouTube ad that was like 2 minutes long, and like he talked about, like, I remember I heard him on a podcast or whatever. He's like, I read a book a day, and then we find out that was a lie. He was like talking about, like, yeah, if he wants to have a sports car in another city, he just has it kind of shipped there so the mileage doesn't get too much, which I feel like that's fair because at least you're paying a truck driver to drive it, you know? But like, I feel like having multiple, you know, in different cities, I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch. Ordering off menu, I have a friend who does this. Clearly, nice restaurants are up for this, but I would never have the thought to ask us until I saw it. Yeah, it depends on the request though. Like, if it's ridiculous, I don't know, like, sometimes restaurants would be cool and be like, can I just get a bowl of soup? You know, I know there's meals and shit like that, but can I just get a bowl and whatever, charge me whatever? You know, like, fine. I dated a girl from a super rich family for a couple of years, and every spring her entire family would go through their closets and donate 9% of their wardrobe, then go out and drop another $20K on entirely new clothes for the year. That's not bad. That's not too bad. They donate their old clothes, but like, do they need to replace the clothes though? Probably not. They call boutique stores ahead of time and see if they're coming in on this day with high-end boutique. Yeah, so if you know someone's gonna spend a lot of money, you do that. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna end this. But yeah, everyone, anyone have any rich asshole stories? Please let me know in the comments because I would love to hear it.
Thank you for watching this clip. Watch it again or watch something else.